When Georgie and Mandy's first marriage was first announced, a lot of fans wondered the same thing. Why this story? Out of everything in the Cooper family timeline, why focus on Georgie's first marriage, especially when we already know from The Big Bang Theory that it doesn't last? But once the show found its rhythm, something became clear. This spin-off didn't just expand the franchise. It quietly solved its biggest long-running problem. And that problem was perspective. For years, the entire Cooper family narrative revolved around one person, Sheldon. In The Big Bang Theory, Georgie and Missy were mostly punchlines or off-screen references. Their childhood experiences were filtered through Sheldon's memory, which, let's be honest, wasn't always emotionally generous. Georgie, in particular, was framed as irresponsible, immature, and often dismissive of his younger brother. Then young Sheldon complicated that image. We saw a different Georgie, ambitious in his own way, protective of Missy, and more perceptive than Sheldon gave him credit for. Still, the story remained Sheldon-centric. Georgie's growth often happened in the margins of a show designed to highlight genius. That's where Georgie and Mandy's first marriage changes everything. By shifting the lens entirely onto Georgie, the franchise finally corrects its imbalance. For the first time, Georgie isn't the other Cooper sibling. He's the protagonist. His fears, insecurities, and ambitions drive the narrative. And that shift recontextualizes the entire franchise. The biggest problem the franchise faced was emotional distortion. For years, we understood the Cooper family through Sheldon's interpretation. His father was flawed. His mother was overprotective. His siblings were distractions. But when you step outside Sheldon's worldview, you realize how incomplete that version was. This spin-off fills in those emotional gaps. It shows that Georgie wasn't careless, he was pressured. He wasn't lazy, he just wasn't academically gifted in a household that centered intellect. His path was different, not lesser. By building a show around Georgie's early marriage to Mandy, the franchise humanizes him in ways that were impossible before. We see him trying to become a provider. We see him struggle with pride. We see him fight to be taken seriously. Those aren't comedic side notes. They're the foundation of the series. And in doing so, the show solves another subtle franchise issue: tone inconsistency. The Big Bang Theory often treated family backstory as comedic exaggeration. Young Sheldon leaned more dramatic in its later seasons, especially surrounding George Sr.'s death. But the transition between the two tones sometimes felt jarring. Georgie and Mandy's first marriage bridges that gap. It blends grounded drama with light sitcom pacing, creating a middle space where humor doesn't erase consequence. Marital arguments don't reset instantly. Financial strain doesn't vanish by the next episode. Emotional missteps linger. That tonal balance smooths out the franchise's uneven emotional timeline. There's also the canon issue. For years, Georgie's multiple marriages were just a throwaway joke in The Big Bang Theory. A quick laugh line. But once you give that first marriage depth, history, and genuine affection, it stops being a punchline. It becomes tragedy, or at least bittersweet inevitability. The spin-off reframes what used to be a joke into something meaningful. That reframing adds weight to the entire Cooper family saga. It also solves a representation gap within the franchise. Sheldon's story explored intellectual isolation, but Georgie's story explores economic reality. It dives into what it means to grow up without academic advantage, to build stability through work instead of prestige. That perspective broadens the emotional scope of the universe. Suddenly, the Cooper family isn't just the origin story of a genius. It's a story about survival, pride, and identity in different forms. And perhaps most importantly, this spin-off gives the franchise emotional accountability. Sheldon often described Georgie as selfish or resentful. But in Georgie and Mandy's first marriage, we see context. We see sacrifice. We see effort. It doesn't erase Sheldon's perspective, it balances it. By doing that, the show repairs a long-standing narrative bias. Instead of one sibling defining the family's history, the franchise now allows multiple truths to coexist. That's the real solution. Georgie and Mandy's first marriage isn't just a continuation of a popular TV universe. It's a correction, a recentering, a reminder that every family story has more than one narrator. And for the first time in this franchise, Georgie finally gets to tell his side.